Often you might have heard many arguments between science and religion. People say that science cannot reach where religion can. However, no one can reach the foundation of faith. The entire universe is organized by a force that is above all of us, spread throughout the creation. Now let's see how these communities define God. He created the entire universe. He was never born, nor does he die. He exists in every particle of creation, and every particle contains energy, which is him only. He is within all of us. This is how all these communities describe God. Now ask a scientist for the definition of energy. They will say that it exists in all living and non-living things of the universe. It is neither born nor dies. It is within all of us. In the previous episodes where I talked about the difference between religion and community, I mentioned about abstract terms that we use, thinking from brain or heart or mind. By saying brain or heart in context with thoughts, feelings, emotions, and expressions, we actually mean our inner conscious, which is the form of energy we are talking here. That is the driving force of our body. As an organ, our brain controls the nervous system and reflexes of our body, and our heart pumps the blood through our blood vessels. These organs have nothing to do with feelings. We express terms like heartbreak, brainstorming, etc., which actually do not involve our heart and brain, but our mind. Mind is neither our heart nor our brain. It is the inner force of our body. Science call it form of energy. Spiritual leaders call it soul or the God within us. Actually, it is one and the same. Ask any community about the soul, and they will say it's a part of God, never born, never dies, has no form, and moves from one living being to another. Ask a scientist about energy, and they'll say it transitions from one state to another, from potential to kinetic, for example. So all these facts align, and this is not part of any community, but a natural principle based on facts. It's not necessary to believe in it. Many great scientists have proved things based on facts, not faith. Atheism believes in facts, believes in nature. Every object in nature holds significance. However, communities or groups have divided nature into pure and impure, good and bad, beautiful and ugly. In this way, our mental state is also divided. And this is a subset of all the religious communities, be it Hindu, Islam, Christianity, and whatsoever. For example, in the West, there is an anti-religious community known as Satanism, in which they worship the devil. It is direct opposition of the church and commandments given in Bible. Similarly, in Hinduism too, there are people who worship negative energies. Although these sub-communities oppose the religious faith in deity, they also don't qualify as atheism, as they are also believing in some faith. By worshiping Satan, you are still worshiping someone as your idol, which again falls in the same block as other religious communities. But then what qualifies for it? There's a beautiful concept from ancient Eastern philosophy originating from China called Yin-Yang. It means that in this entire universe, in this cosmos, every existence is sustained by the balance of opposites. For instance, the balance between earth and sky, male and female, darkness and light, good and bad. Without this balance, the universe cannot exist. Let's take an example. Imagine a blackboard. No matter how much you write with black chalk, nothing is visible. But if you make a small dot with white chalk, it's visible from afar. The reason is simple. As you know, even a child can explain. Because the board is black, so anything written in black doesn't show. Everyone can say this, but nobody pays attention to the profound philosophy behind it. If you want something to be visible, the background should be opposite. If you consider darkness as negative, then you won't be able to understand what light is. Because the definition of light is the absence of darkness, just as darkness is not having light. Every religious narrative, in the name of religion, portrays a villain and a hero. The reason is, if you want to highlight a hero, you have to show someone opposite to him. Every religious story has a villain, whether it's a person or an environment. He will be opposite, and sometimes to win against him, the protagonist cheats, deceives, turns against his own principles, and then says that it's not considered wrong for the sake of religion. So what about the dignity of that hero who is considered as the form of God? And if there's no villain, how will the hero prove his heroism? He can only shine by contrast. This was a big problem, and it was necessary because if the hero doesn't show himself as a hero, doesn't perform heroics, then how will people maintain faith in him? Why is Superman or Batman considered a superhero? Because they do something extraordinary, larger than life. Similarly, the so-called avatars of these communities are also doing the same. There's no difference. If you don't believe in them, you're considered sinful, atheistic. If you say anything about their God, their religious gurus lose their temper, get angry. Faith eventually turns into blind faith. Then people are not ready to listen to any arguments against it and fight each other in the name of religion. The communities we know by the name of religions often end up fighting among themselves. The reason? Sometimes one religion gets insulted and sometimes another. And why wouldn't it be? It's very easy to insult what they consider as religion, the one that is a form of energy, which has no shape, no form, no name, could never be insulted. After all, how can anyone insult energy that is invisible and present everywhere? But the communities, the society that are known as religions, gave their respective gods a name. By creating their idols, they gave them shapes and forms. Not just one, but numerous names, numerous forms and shapes. Now it became so easy to insult them, because whatever is visible can be insulted. If I break an idol, throw mud on it, break a temple, or insult the name given to a god, that's it. The insult has been done. Nowadays, what we know as religion is so fragile that anything can insult it. And then the followers of that community set out to fight, to protect their religion, to protect their God. What a foolish idea this is. We have weakened that power by giving it shape and name, which could never be insulted, which was never a subject of respect or disrespect. As mentioned earlier, from a scientific perspective, the real God is just energy. It has no name, no form, so who can comment on it? And what difference will it make? It hasn't been analyzed by religion. There's no definition, no explanation. Just do what you need to live. That's your religion. There's no need to worship or idolize God. It's just a power that drives this universe. Whether you believe it or not, the universe will continue to exist. So why believe? Just fulfill your duty, be an atheist.